Your protocol when you're going asymmetrical is one person is attacking, but not just to attack. Your job is to move him and saturate him towards the triangle point. The defender is working on more than just not being unbalanced and not being hit. You're working on not being shocked. When you are hit, when you are unbalanced, you're working on minimizing how long you are shocked from it. It may be just this. That's way too long of a recovery process. Okay, your purpose in fluid drills is to work on dealing with your errors and your recovery from them. Okay, your recovery process. Go to flow fighting and work on the theory. Understand why you're training the way you are. So we'll start with first Dan attacking and me defending. Ready? Oh, sorry, I cheated. Good. And then me attacking, and then defending. On to knee depth. Knee depth corresponds to, as we saw in fisticuffs, elbow depth, like elbow block and overhook. When you're throwing your elbows, you're also at knee weapon range. But it's more than just that. It's like we said, it's not technical, it's joint. Your range is joint depth. So when squared off with an opponent, come closer, Dan. If you can see, in order for me to apply knees, I need to compress range. So I don't want to be throwing knees out here. Now, if I throw a long compression knee, meaning I work from this range and close in tight quickly, launch that long knee, that has a high reward because I can go instantly to shock. Remember, range compression. However, the problem with that is it's a low opportunity and high risk. It's not very effective by the definition, high opportunity over risk. If we could get in there, if we have the right timing, if we have a psyched out opponent or an unexpected opponent, like we're here, and he doesn't expect us to blast in, then maybe we can compress the range very quickly. My point being this, what we want to do is view it from our top strategy. Secure, shock, saturate. If you can get that long knee in there, go right to shock and right to saturate, fine. What we're going to concentrate on are the attached knees and working from security, meaning, in this case, here's a neutral hold, neutral version. It may just be, we're in here, we're at elbow depth and controlling his body, and we start applying knees to him. But he can do the same to us. So let's look at it from just this neutral position. If we're here, we have knees at our disposal in a few weapon areas, or a few vulnerable areas. Let me turn this way for you. The first is, let's go back to that closest weapon, closest target. His knee is closest to our knee, so it doesn't take much for us to wave hip and knee. It's chambering. It's more of a knee bump to get it in there. You're waving, weight transfer. Remember the fencer's advance to apply the knee. Straight knee into the thigh. It could be in the forward part of the thigh, or if you happen to box step out of the way, it can be into the side of the thigh. Box step out of the way, be into the inside of the thigh. The same thing can be true just with the inside of your knee. Almost like you're coming in for your hook, but you rake with your knee. Now, all of you should know about the infamous dead leg technique. He has nerves in here, okay? Peroneal nerve, sciatic nerve, femoral nerve. If you hit it the right way, over years, you'll be able to spot it pretty easily. It's not that you're looking for it. It's just you can see where it is from his balance, okay? Don't think of it as a pressure point. Think of it as a motor point. If you hit here, his body will twist just like he did. He absorbed it. His hips turn because he doesn't like the pain, okay? If a person doesn't have this reaction, then he's going to go down to the ground because you hammered into the nerve. If he's a little more seasoned, he'll absorb it by twisting his hips and sinking into it, so it's not going to have as much effectiveness. So you don't want to overcommit to it. So that's one. Straight knees. Elliptical knee here. Also, elliptical knee here. Not in here towards the equipment. You can't really get the equipment because it's hidden between the flaps of his legs. He's more protective of that than he is his thighs. Remember that. He may tuck his pelvis, but he'll expose his... Tuck your pelvis so don't hit your equipment. He'll expose his thighs. So when you're working here, remember that it doesn't take excessive force. It takes timing and efficiency. Let's go a little bit higher. I want to show all the weapons because the focus here really isn't upon the weapons. It's upon the distance and understanding secure, shock, saturation. Okay. A little bit higher, we have his basket right here. When you're hitting in towards his gut, don't think in terms of some vital targeting. Rupture his pancreas. It's not going to happen, sports fans. But you can access his diaphragm. That's pretty easy. Especially if you time it, you're in here and you hear him do this. Now, I'm not going to do it to Dan. He's taken enough abuse. But if you time this on his inhale, just as the diaphragm is pushing down because of his inhale, compressing his organs, you can knock the wind out of him. It's not anatomically correct, but you know what I mean. Everybody's experienced it. So you're waiting for him. You can even brace him a little, give him a little shock just from a shake, then bring it in. Okay, it's still the side of your knee. And not turning up here, think about the range. That's a long range maneuver. It's real close. The same thing is true here. Kidneys are exposed. If you hit him in the erector muscles, his spine flexes right here. It's a good counterpoint for throws and takedowns. It doesn't have to be as dramatic as I just hit. It could just be enough of a scrape to displace his hip plane beyond his solar plex plane, okay? As you continue to get more and more seasoned, you actually don't want to apply as much force because if you're getting older like me, you want to be able to run away, okay? So you get it beyond and then continue on. So that maybe if you can't run away, you have enough to stand over him and give him the boot shuffle on the head, okay? So you blast him over. So we've elevated the plane a little bit higher. It also can be true here. Suppose we're in this crossover hook like we talked about in fisticuffs. This is still the same depth. Wham, we hit him. Oh, we bent over. Look at that. Okay. Forward. We hit him in the gut. He bends over tight. Down on top, scraping from the forehead down. Don't think of kicking his head. It's a lot harder than a soccer ball. And it hurts the knee, actually. If you've ever kneed someone fully in the head, if you hit the casing, the armor casing, it's going to hurt your knee a lot, even with the endorphins kicking. But if you think of rending his face, you can cut it open just like you do in fisticuffs. Like when you rake down, as you cut open, the blood pours in, causes shock, he can't see, he's blinded, and then we can saturate. Same thing is true here, because here we also have some type of cloth if you have pants on. Okay? So that pretty much constitutes everything for our knees, except for one last one, which is coming straight up. Just because we're plumbed in here tight, you want to block that. Just because we're in here tight doesn't mean that this can't come up. And it doesn't mean, wham, we knock, oh, there we go, upwards. The distance isn't necessarily always as close or as far away as it may seem. It's not like a rearview mirror. So that constitutes all of our weapons. What we're going to do next is actually start to work on some fluid work from the perspective of these strikes.